So the topic is adversarial search. There are four sections in the book for this particular topic. Game, non-zero sum, and stochastic games. So stochastic games are not there in our syllabus. We won't be discussing about it, but stochastic means what you know, that if I take a particular move, I don't know what the state the environment is going to get into. That is a stochastic games. I might not have a full idea about or the full observability about the environment. That is again a stochastic. The one which is not deterministic is referred to as stochastic games. Okay. Non-zero sum games are also not there in our discussion. Multiplayer games beyond 2 players, we won't be discussing much. Okay, so we'll be only discussing about these two categories of games. Okay, so I've given you enough idea about what do you mean a game as far as adversarial search is concerned. A game is is the one which shows is the one agent environment which shows deterministic fully observable environment in which there are two agents whose actions must alternate, that is they are turn taking, and in which the utility values at the end of the game are always equal and opposite. Since there are two agents, they are saying that equal and opposite means the sum of the utility values for all the participating agent should be 0. So I can easily extend this environment to multiplayer environment as well, 3-player environment or 4-player environment as well. Whatever discussion we are going to have, we can extend it to 3-4 players. We need to just take into account that the games in more than 2-player environment should always be zero-sum games. That is, if I sum up the utility value of every agent that is participating in the game at the end of the game, it should come out to be 0. Then it is a zero-sum game. So that is what the definition of zero-sum game is. So this is how we define game in adversarial search. Now the second thing we need to understand is the multi-agent environments need to consider action of the other agents. Yeah, that's an important thing. So if you are in a multi-agent scenario, if you want to find out or if you want to decide what step I should do, then I need not only apply the actions that are valid actions in current scenario and see the successors that are getting generated, but plus I should also think of the next move is going to be of my adversary. And if I apply a particular move right now, or if I play a particular move right now, what will be the next move that the other side takes? That should also be taken into account somehow in the state space search. Okay, without that, if we just do one-sided affair, it's not going to be sufficient for finding out goal node that we are interested in. Okay, the other agents may also introduce contingencies. Contingencies means अगर ये scenario हुआ तो ये action होगा, वो scenario हुआ तो वो action होगा. So there will be kind of alternatives I should have available. If I said I decide that I would take action A1 at this moment where I had available 3 actions A1, A2 and A3, then if after my action A1, if the other agent applies action say A2, I should have a plan what should be my next action. And that is how that is what the contingency planning means. Okay, but contingency planning, again, we are not going to discuss much because we are going to discuss only 2 algorithms from the topic. One algorithm is referred to as minimax algorithm, and then there is an improvement on minimax algorithm that tries to prune the search tree in order to find out the optimal action in a lesser time. A similar kind of thing we did with the CSPs also, when we wanted the backtracking algorithm to be improved by improving the time complexity of it. Okay, so a similar kind of thing we will be doing for minimax algorithm. The strategy that we will be using is called as alpha beta pruning. Okay, we'll come to that point within this lecture only because it's a very short topic. We already talked about what do we mean by cooperative competitive. This is just the explanation of games. Okay, so as I discussed, we are going to discuss two of the three sections that are there in book. In book, it is covered in four sections. So imperfect and real-time decision are two sections. Optimal decisions and alpha beta pruning are two sections. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Four sections are there in book as far as this chapter number 6 is concerned, out of which we will be only discussing about optimal decisions and alpha beta pruning. We won't be discussing how to take decisions in adversarial problems that involve imperfect environment or imperfect definitions. Also, we won't be talking about the real-time decisions that in general are very important for actual problem that AI needs to solve. Okay, since it's an introductory subject, we should first learn on simplified problems, and once we have hang of how to solve simplified problems, we can graduate ourselves to solve the actual real world problems. That's the whole idea. So we are going to concentrate on optimal decisions. For this we will be using an algorithm which is referred to as Minimax algorithm. Okay, and this alpha beta pruning is nothing but an improvement to this Minimax algorithm. So the second part that we are going to discuss is going to be improvement to Minimax algorithm, and the improvement is suggested by pruning certain regions of the tree such that because of that pruning we avoid expanding search tree and still we get an optimal decision. So we stick to getting optimal decision, but we try to restrict the amount of nodes that we generate in the search tree. The whole idea still concentrate on searching, okay, but it takes into account that we are talking about a tree that is going to be generated in a turn taking fashion. That's why the tree that we generate, the search tree that we generate now will be called as a different with a different name, and that different name is called game tree. So we'll be actually generating not a search tree, but we will be generating a game tree, and that I guess is the next slide if it is. So game theory, I'm not going to talk about it. Search problem versus game problems, I don't think so we should talk about it. You will recollect or you'll understand about it. So yeah, game as a search problem. So if I want to represent a game that is two-player, deterministic, fully observable, turn-taking, zero-sum environment, I want to solve it using, or I want to represent rather first using a search problem. Then these things I need to define. So initial state, as usual, that was a thing that we defined for any search problem. What should be the initial configuration of the board? Initial board position, identify which player is going to perform his move. Then I should be able to define the successor function. That is again part of standard search state space search problem. I should have a goal test, but now the goal test has been changed into a new name, and which is called as terminal test. Now, what is a terminal test? A game is a turn-taking initiative that passes on this activity of taking turns till you terminate the game. Means one of the two guys who are playing the game wins. Up to that point, you keep on taking the turns, and that's why the stopping condition is not actually reaching a goal node, but the stopping condition is a terminal test that decides that this particular guy has won the game and game should not be proceeded further. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to generate a tree that will have alternating colors in the layer, as I already told you. Okay, colors मैं बोल रहा हूँ लेकिन वो actually आप उसको different symbols से भी represent कर सकते हो. We'll see that later, but this is how we are representing. So this is level 1, level 2, level 3, and you will apply this terminal test at every level and figure out, is there any move left, is there any move left, is there any move left, and say suppose after taking, so this is first turn or first ply as they call, this is second ply, and say suppose this is third ply. Okay, I should use yellow color. This is the third ply. Third ply means third turn. So this is turn first turn, this is second turn, and this is third turn. So 3 turns. In after this third turn, if I apply the terminal test and I figure out that there is no move left for any of the player, what I get is a terminal node or a leaf node in the tree. So this is how I can guess or I can gauge the depth of the search tree. Okay, so we can start taking turns from one initial state, and we keep on taking turns until a point where the terminal test fails. So if the terminal test fails, it indicates that there are no more moves left, and I need to apply the function which is referred to as utility function. Now, other important fact about game is that when I apply utility function in zero sum games, I apply utility function to all players and find out the utility value. So ultimately, after this terminal test fails for this node, I will have a utility value listed out over here at this level. Okay, so I may actually choose. So if this was the node of yellow colored player, and the green player is for whom I'm designing this tree, then this value should be the utility value for the green player, so that I can take this up into the tree and decide what moves to be performed. Okay, so utility function, we know about utility based agent. It's a numerical measure of satisfaction of the agent, and in zero sum game this utility function also has an overhead. So you have to give away the utility tickets to all the agents such that those ticket values or utility values should sum up to 0. So if we are playing chess and one person wins, he'll get +1. The other person who loses will get -1. And if a chess game is drawn, both of them will get 0. So ultimately the sum of utility values are going to be 0 whether the game draws or somebody wins the game. Okay, now if player 2 wins the game, player 1 will have -1, player 2 will have +1. Player 1 wins the game, player 1 will have -1, player 2 will have +1. So ultimately your sum of utility value is going to be 0. So that is how I can use four things to define, at least four things to define a game as a search problem. I should define initial state, successor function, terminal test, and utility function. These four things. This backgammon is some kind of a board game. I'm not sure of, and I have not played it, but some of you might know what that is. That is probably a grid-like structure, and where there are two colored coins are there. I may have a green colored coin and I may have a yellow colored coin. It's like a game of life, wherein I just count the number of neighborhood cells that have complementary color. If that is more than 2 or more than 3, the color keeps changing. So maybe the case that I can have a scenario like this, because there are two neighbors yellow, this turns to be yellow. And ultimately, if the board gets colored in a single color, the player with that color wins. This is probably the way the backgammon or Go or other kind of games are played. And these 192 plus and minus 192 values are ultimately, when the game is over, I will find out how many number of cells with a particular color are, and how many number of depending on that I will score. Okay, so I'm not sure about this backgammon game. Somebody can actually research about it and figure out what it is, but chess we all know. Okay, the other game that can get into this categories of games that we're going to talk about is the usual leisure game that we play, which is called as tic-tac-toe. We have two players, one has cross and the other has circle. So it's a zero game everybody plays in their leisure time when lecture is on and you don't want to study. I hope you are not doing it right now. You play with, say, circle, then the guy with cross starts playing, and what the goal of the game is, you want to have 3 consecutive crosses or 3 consecutive circles or a draw. So that is how this game is scored. Again, we have a +1, -1, and 0 as 3 game values, like what we have in chess. So tic-tac-toe can also be considered as a game, because again, 2-player deterministic turn-taking game. and fully observable. So all the characteristics match. Chess